Ultiworld's coverage of the 2025 USA Ultimate National Championships is presented by Breakmark, celebrating their 20th anniversary. Visit them at breakmark.com. The 2025 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by Discraft, home of the UltraStar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Your place for all your ultimate and disc golf needs. Visit discraft.com. We make flying discs fun.
The next chapters of Ultimate Frisbee history about to be written on this Sunday in San Diego. San Francisco Fury, the greatest Ultimate team in the history of the world, looking for its 14th title today. But Boston Brute Squad has been a nemesis in the past, and Brute tries to pull off the upset over the top-seeded Fury. We are at Canyon Crest Stadium in Southern California after the semifinals yesterday, where Fury knocked off Molly Brown 15-9. Brute Squad outscored Scandal 10-4 in the second half to erase the deficit and get back to the finals. And we are so excited to get ready for this championship Sunday. In every division, there's a team going for the Triple Crown. Fury, Revolver, and Hybrid, all top seeds, all have done nothing but win this season. Today they could complete that Triple Crown and make history, or we could see some upsets. Evan Lepler along with Katie Killebrew. Katie, not only is Fury going for its 14th title, but they are trying to complete an undefeated season. And in the Triple Crown era of Ultimate Frisbee, which started back in 2013, no team in the men's, women's, or mixed division has gone through a season without a single loss. As great as Fury has been, they can do something they haven't done before in the last 12 years here today.
Well, it's nice to know that there's a record that they haven't broken yet.
Well, they did go undefeated in 2012, but they also went undefeated in 2008. That was the pre-TCT era. We had to make the font of the Fury fist particularly small to fit them in. Brute Squad is the other greatest team of this era. These two teams each have 4 championships in the last 9 years. And while Brute Squad has never beaten Fury in a final, they have beaten them in big games in bracket. Brute Squad has championship experience. But San Francisco Fury's depth is just so daunting. From the top of the roster to the bottom of the roster, if you can find it, there's really no weakness.
It was something that Molly Brown really struggled with in this semifinals game. They have exceptional players, but the depth of Fury, the ability to turn and go after they get a block, Molly Brown just didn't have an answer, and neither has anyone else.
In the second women's semifinal, it was a strong first half for DC Scandal. They led 8-5 at the break, but Brute Squad found it in the second half. Kelly Highland and Liv Player, along with Becky Malinowski, absolutely took the game over.
The momentum was going Scandal's way, and then Brute Squad just found another gear. They were able to find spaces, and they were fearless in hitting their marks. 5
goals for Liv Player, and Brute Squad's gonna have their hands full today, because players like Shayla Harris are playing the best Frisbee of their careers. Shayla was a star at Stanford, and she's one of many stars shining bright on this year's Fury squad.
Shayla is a player who has made her name in defense, patrolling the deep space, getting goals, but I would say really growing in the offensive space of the game. And I think part of that is due to the structure of Fury having to play O and D. And Shayla is a player who has really grown and is making a huge impact for Fury.
Making plays in the air, patrolling the deep space, what she does best. Look at the elevation with World Games talent surrounding her. On the Boston side of things, Lev Kovalchuk has been a revelation ever since she played at the World Games in 2022, joined Boston Brute Squad. She was a champion here at Nationals 2 years ago. She's looking for her second club national title. And Brute Squad coach Rob Brazil said something that surprised me a little bit. He said, Levka may not be doing as much this year, but he thinks she has had the best season of any time she's played for Brute.
I think it's one of the things that happens when you just look at a stat line to judge a player's impact. Because players are moving the disc, and Levka is a player who's actually so much more of a facilitator than previous seasons, getting Brute Squad out of tight spaces and then opening up the field in the width. So she may not be getting necessarily the dramatic blocks, the dramatic assists and scores, but super impactful for Brute Squad, and they're going to need her to perform today.
It's Brute Squad's 9th appearance in the championship game. It's Fury's 18th. The sun is shining, there's very little breeze. Fury in their patented blues, Brute Squad wearing their whites, and off we go for the 2025 women's final, with Fury having won the flip, starting on offense and immediately turning it over. Lev Kovalchuk, as if she was the receiver, intercepting Maggie Rudin's pass. Disc in the hands of Angela Zhu, who had a scary moment in the semis yesterday. Hit her head, but she's good to go, and Maggie Rudin makes amends immediately. Matty Sang, the longtime coach of Fury, to his credit, did predict this when he was asked whether they wanted to start on O or D. Rachel Chang shooting it long, and it just narrowly eludes Megan Liu. He said whether we start on O, we'll turn it over, and then we'll play D. So it doesn't matter. They did choose to start on offense without much wind. Here's the second chance for Brute Squad. Certainly expect Lev Kovalchuk to be very involved in this game, but she is far from Boston's only star. Here's Emily Kemp dishing downfield. Jimena Montaña, one of the 3 Colombian imports on this Boston roster. And there's the opening break for Brute Squad. Lev Kovalchuk dishes the opening score to Angela Zhu.
Very good to see Angela back on the field. Had a scary collision in the semifinal, but really just wanted to be sure physically, as the coaches said, and clearly playing at least this first point, putting Brute Squad up a break.
Fury was broken at the start of the semifinal by Molly Brown. Obviously, they turned that game around, won by 6. Not sure what Rudin was looking at there. She did make amends immediately with the block. Heck of a play for the veteran Fury, but Rachel Chang, this ambitious shot would not connect with Liu.
It looked ambitious, but it did hit Liu in the hand and was in bounds. I think it's just one of those things that didn't quite go Fury's way, but that wasn't a miss by much. And they, I'm guessing from having watched them, are going to be completely unfazed by the fact that they just turned it over, got broken on the first point.
Kelly Hyland launches the second pull of the game for Brute Squad. Anna Thompson working in the Fury backfield with Sarah Von Depp. Here's Khalees Cardenas. The last time Fury went undefeated in 2012, Khalees Cardenas had a front row seat in the final. She was a young star for Seattle Riot. That came up short against Fury on Championship Sunday 13 years ago. Khalees was one of the players that Matty Sang highlighted in our conversation, talking about how well she has played. Deep shot from Ellie Mellick, and it's off the fingertips of Irene Scazietti in the end zone, but she's looking at the observer and hasn't moved.
Kelly Hyland was the defensive player there on Scazietti, but made
Yeah, it's a strip, not a foul. No, I didn't touch. you are the like.
You didn't touch anything?
No, I hit the disc, but like it was you didn't. You did not have it. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that you touched me.
Yes.
It's okay.
You're saying you had possession of the disc?
I said that I had the Frisbee.
I don't think you had stock rotation when I had already hit it out. No. That's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so observer ruling, yeah, you did not have possession. All right, so split, hang on, no move, yeah, starts with the check. Yeah, so when you're ready, it starts with the check.
So the discussion with players there is Scazieri saying that she felt like she had stopped rotation. Highland saying that she had just gotten the disc. I think I agree with that. It's hard to imagine that rotation had clearly stopped.
So another early break chance for Boston Brute Squad. Fury has trailed by 1 this weekend. I don't believe they've ever been down by multiple goals. Now Brute Squad took half on Fury at the US Open, I believe 8-5. And then Fury roared back en route to the US Open crown, where they beat Riot in the final. These two teams met again at Pro Champs. Also, Fury a winner there. Kelly Highland in the end zone. And now Fury faces some adversity here on the biggest stage.
Yeah, the hands up for the bookends, meaning that play was bookended by Highland's play, getting the block in one end zone and then the score on the other side of the field. Beezus, as she is called by her teammates, getting the blocks.
And Liv Player scoring the goals in the semis yesterday and ripping a perfect backhand shot. Player, her first year with Brute Squad, talked about after the semi yesterday how her time with Sprocket allowed her to make mistakes and learn from them and become the player she is today.
I love how you could see in that angle how Highland makes a directly vertical cut straight towards the center of the back of the end zone, and then the disc that player puts up does the work where the angle of the disc comes back in towards the player. It means that the defender doesn't have a play on it at any point. It's a really high level execution of that play.
Fury doesn't take a timeout. They just put a new group on the field. Juliana Werfele, obviously a champion in the women's division with Brute Squad earlier in her career. Harris squeezes it through to Werfele. Tight space there. Near the sideline, Fury gets it to Johansson and back to Werfele downfield. Carolyn Finney zips it to Maggie Rudin. Angela Zhu bouncing on the mark. Finney does a little twirl and then fires a fastball that's off the fingertips of Margot Sturt. Fury's 4th turnover. We have confirmed this is the first time Fury's been down by 2 all tournament. Coming into today, they've gone 5-0 at Nationals, outscoring their opponents 75-28 as Hoffman can't catch the swing. So good field position for San Francisco to get on the board. Oh, an errant reset from Rudin, her second turn. Going deep, Jimena Montaña. Incomplete.
As Fury walks to pick this up, I feel like they need to take a little bit of a breather. At some point, you can get a little cavalier with the throwing of turns and it not impacting you and mattering, and you're going to get it back on defense. But when Brute Squad is firing like this.
Oh, how about Emily Kemp? Harris calls a foul. Kemp may have bumped her on the way by. She definitely got to the underneath space first.
Yep.
grabbing the shoulder area. I don't know if there's a foul call or not, but certainly I think more of an injury concern as you see the players coming together.
Hard landing.
Very hard landing there for Dozer. And I'm seeing a little bit of also a foul signaled.
There was contact initiated by the defense that affected the outcome of the play.
Okay. Do you think it was on the catch or before, like when you were bumping?
I think the contact, I mean, I think there was contact like during the attempt to make a play that affected the outcome of that play.
Okay, I'm confused.
Okay. Yeah.
Uncontested foul. Katie, I thought Kemp did a really good job avoiding serious contact going around her. There may have been some side-to-side contact. That looked like a block to me. What say you?
All right. Yeah. Over here.
I think also the way that Harris explained the way that she experienced that, with that she felt contact that impeded her ability to catch, right? There was sustained contact before the catching attempt was made. And I think that given the ways that the rules are worded, that is a foul.
So Fury keeps the disc. Harris looking downfield, and it's incomplete. This is going to be Brute Squad's 6th break chance in the opening 10 minutes.
And the disc is going to come way up because it went out of bounds earlier in the field.
Hoffman initiates. He's got 2 resets, connects with Aaron McCann. Continue for the veteran Angela Zhu, and into the end zone. It's Lev Kovalchuk. 3rd time's the charm on this particular point. Brute Squad, 3 breaks and 6 chances, and Fury might need a timeout.
It does look a little circly for the Fury side. I haven't seen a timeout signaled yet. I was honestly surprised after the hard impact on the ground for Harris that she didn't take an injury substitution. Maybe not just because she was there, but the being mentally rattled by that kind of play is there. But Brute Squad is relentless. They have been looking at angles, almost picking Fury's pocket in terms of their execution and then going the other way, doing exactly to Fury what Fury has done to so many other teams, which is be really quick on the counter attack.
Maddie Sang did take the timeout. Fury, the legendary program, the huge favorite, getting stunned early by Boston. So Boston Brute Squad has picked up where they left off in yesterday's semifinal. Since halftime against Scandal, they've outscored Scandal and Fury 13-4. But need I remind you, Fury started slow against Molly Brown. They had 5 turns in their first 4 points in that game, and then only had 2 turns the rest of the game. So they found their form and they ran away from the team from Denver. But that's a crazy play. Incredible catch by Amanda Maru with Laura Ospina seemingly having position. The level of physicality and intensity is what you'd expect of a final.
I mean, Ospina certainly makes a very athletic play there, but I think came into the lane where Maru could not avoid the action, looking again, yeah, grabbing and then turning. Yeah, the impact was after the initial bid. Maru still has position.
We do have Jonna Hammaker, USA Ultimate Observer, in the broadcast booth with us, and there's a hand block and a foul called. Let's get this resolved, and then I do want to ask Jonna a question about that last play in regards to whether it constituted a dangerous play, but let's listen into this discussion first.
Just want to ask the observer.
Volchek ready to break the transition.
Sounds like you disagree.
Attack.
We can send a contest or come here.
I don't know if you have perspective of the
Okay, so my ruling, it was a foul. So it's going to be your disc. Stalling one.
I see the disc tumbling over like a coin that's been flipped, and usually that means there's two opposing forces on the disc at the same time, which is indicative of a foul.
So Fury keeps the disc, still looking for their first score. We'll bring in Jonna after the point to talk about the dangerous play dynamic and whether Ospina's bid qualified. Anna Thompson has multiple deep cutters. Over Ellie Mellick, off Rolling's fingertips and to the turf.
What a play!
Tulsa Douglas picks up. Break chance number 7 for Boston. We still haven't seen the Brute Squad O-line take the field. Oh goodness, Manji Ferrero, gigantic backhand, but Kelly Hyland runs out of room and it sails across the sideline incomplete.
The space was there, so that's a little bit on the execution and maybe feeling those nerves and excitement going up by 4. Whew.
Can Fury stabilize? That's a shot from Ellie Mellick, connecting with Scazietti. Thompson working with Johnson. Kirsten Johnson throws it into the ground. What is going on here?
Fury is used to playing really fast, but they aren't used to playing really fast while also frazzled. And it looks like as they try to speed up the rate of their offense, they're miscuing.
Fury has more turnovers in this game already than they had in the entire semifinal against Molly Brown. Volchek wants it all. Hyland versus Johnson.
Really rough read. So difficult to come down with that while you're trying to spin as it flies a little bit.
Player unsuccessful on the bid, but Volchek successful with the poach. Boston's defense, like we saw them do to Scandal in the final 2 years ago when Scandal was the favorite and Scandal had beaten Boston earlier at Nationals. They are flummoxing Fury with not only their defensive athleticism, but their intelligence and their choices. They're confusing Fury, and you said it well, Katie. There's no question, Fury's flustered. There's a light breeze, but it's not a particularly windy day. And Brute Squad, another throw that gave the receiver 0% chance of making the catch.
Yeah, gotta be inbounds, or at least real close to give your player a chance to toe it.
So the veteran Anna Nazaroff walks it up. She is already in the Ultimate Frisbee Hall of Fame, inducted last year. Nazarov resets to Thompson. Continue around for Ellie Melek. Now, Katie, once you've made a mistake and you've sensed your team has made a mistake, it's also hard to be as aggressive as you normally are and to take the shots that you might normally go for because you don't want to make another mistake.
Yeah, it really gets you out of that flow state.
You got to be kidding. Anna Thompson. I don't think I've ever seen her do that before.
Well, we talked about records and being a first time for everything. Brute Squad takes a timeout to catch a breather on this point, and it feels, you know, like we've had break chances, but this one to go up 4-0. 4-0 versus 3-1 is a really different score line.
And they take a timeout preceding their fourth chance to go up 4-0 on this point. 7 turns already on the point. Who had Fury turnover package trailing 3-0 on their bingo card for the women's final?
I mean, part of it is due to the intensive defensive pressure that Brute Squad is putting on. But part of it, I think, is just the length that they're used to throwing, those lapses of mental focus that the pressure has created.
Well, we do have a third member of our broadcast crew gleaning perspective from the sidelines. Ian Toner, what's it like down there, bud?
Yeah, this is different. I will say, having listened in to a couple of the Fury huddles after the timeout on the previous point and then during that timeout there isn't a sense of panic in their approach. Maddie Sang is just trying to preach fundamentals to the group, having trust in the players on the field. There's no major schematic or structural change that he's asking for. So we'll be interested to see how this group responds as the rest of this first half unfolds.
Thank you, Ian. Ferrero able to connect with Highland. It's been a long point with no subs. Tulsa Douglas on the doorstep of a 4-0 lead in the final. And they've got it. Manji Ferrero in the end zone. Brute Squad 4, Fury 0.
I also wanted to highlight what Tulsa Douglas was doing for this squad. She is a player who is just exuding calmness and confidence for this Brute Squad team. She absolutely broke the ankles of the defender, changing direction to get that disc on the end zone line. And then, under intense pressure, pivots, finds the moment. That was just one of Fury's turns, but that's Douglas with the disc number 14 on the end zone line, and you can see really not looking frazzled by the pressure, and you know, Dina Elimelech in the space and all these other names that sometimes get reputation Ds by just being there. But Brute Squad is not giving that to Fury in a way that I think almost everybody else at the tournament does. And they have to be right back on the line now to try to do it again.
Staggering, flabbergasting start to this game. Rudin puts that one nicely on a platter, and Sharon Lynn finally in the end zone for Fury. That's more like it for the champs.
I think also to score in that fashion, clean, pristine, I think maybe 3 throws. Breath of relief for Fury. But I don't think that Brute Squad should take their foot off the gas even a little bit, because they have an advantage, but they still have 11 more points to score before this game is over. And if you have watched Fury play at any point in the past, which you probably have because they've been in all of the semis and finals, basically, that they this is not over. This is not even close to over. This is just an exciting beginning.
Yeah, two quick thoughts to amplify that point. Number one, a little over an hour ago, asked Rob Brazil, what's been the common thread of facing Fury in a big game like a semi or a final? And he said without hesitation, they always show up. We need to play great if we're going to beat them. We expect them to play great. The other thing, Fury's going for an undefeated season, which they completed in 2012. They also went undefeated in 2008. But Ultimate diehards might remember the 2008 final against Riot in Sarasota. The wildest, craziest comeback in the history of Frisbee when Fury was down 10-1 and came back to win 15-12. So 4-0 is nothing historically for Fury.
That is true. Somebody described to me as the game of infamy, the game that won't die. But it really had an impact on this sport, and I think on all of our psyches in terms of like what Fury means, not only in this division, but to the sport, to the world, to know that big changes like that can happen.
I'd like to apologize to Miranda Roth-Knowles and every other member of that Seattle team for bringing it up, but it does feel slightly relevant. There's a pick downfield.
I think one of the things we're also going to see, as I see it's Sharon Lynn marking Volchek, that the rotational subbing structure for both of these teams, we're going to see them, I think, try to dial in the matchups a little bit. And who is marking who and on the turns and how that works out is a dynamic I'm excited to see play out.
This is the first O point for Brute Squad, by the way. Ospina was shaken up on the bid earlier. Gets it to Friedman, and here's Hoffman. Leanne Hoffman has been so steady and so skilled for so long. Big in big games in many years past for Brute Squad. Volchek. Patiently waits, finds Ospina. This is Friedman. Fury trying to shut down anything in the end zone, but you can only hold Lev Kovalchuk down for so long in those small spaces. Clean hold for Brute Squad's offense, and it's 5-1.
Now with 2 clean holds, I feel like the pace of the game, the rhythm might start to come to us. We talked about Brute Squad's O-line not being on the field, but we have seen every single player on that O-line that just started take the field before. Maybe not exactly in this format, but they were all playing. And I think I just wanted to highlight that it's a rotational structure that both of these teams are running. It's not just a strict, you only play when we start on offense or you only play when we start on defense, but you're starting a lot of these points.
Our trivia question during this women's final, Fury with 13 championships. They beat Riot in the final 6 times, Brute Squad in the final 4 times. Who are the other 3 teams that Fury has beaten in the title game? Think about it. One was recent. The other 2, you gotta go back a little bit. Thompson, Johnson, Cardenas, Harris. Player is on Harris. Here's Ali Melek with Malinowski setting the mark. Von Depp is wide open, chased by Ferrero. And just jamming it up the jam hole. Right up the sideline to Thompson. Fury's offense has stabilized and calibrated after the very sloppy start.
Brute Squad has done a really good job of adjusting the mark, and they know that Fury likes to attack the break side. So they've been poaching in those lanes, anticipating the disc going to that inside space, and instead Fury's adjustment is, okay, we have great athletes, we're going to really beat you to the cone. So maybe it's, as you phrased it, jamming it up the jam hold, same side, same side, same side. But in this case, the players, you can see Highland hunting, you can see other players in that space, and Thompson just beats Douglas to the cone.
Ian, downstairs, what you got?
Yeah, Evan, a few points ago, you asked me what I was noticing about the mood on the sideline and the tenor and the vibe, and I have to say that one thing I failed to mention was, despite being in that hole, Fury was still doing all of the body language and supportive habits that this team has come to be known for over the course of the past 2 decades. The power poses, the cheers even after getting scored on. And I think there's a stark difference in how that team handles adversity and how they maintain the commitment to positive body language and support, and other teams across this division and other divisions who find themselves down 3 and might respond differently.
Volchek, can she win the aerial battle against Harris? She can. She lands on the line. What do we got?
I think I had already jumped, and then I felt contact pushing me away, so I drifted away from the Frisbee. I think there was probably some truth to that, but I also think just before I stepped in the lane, so I think I was there already. And then that's what I'm saying.
Little
I had
left arm
jumped,
there.
and then you came and
subtle,
moved my body out of the way
but
while
noticeable.
I was airborne. And I think I was already
Did it affect the play, Katie?
in the lane. So I think there was some contact, but I think it was incidental. I think the contact affected the outcome because I think I would have caught the disc.
All right.
If it wasn't.
I love.
What would you two like to do?
I'll go to the observer.
Okay, so you're bringing it to us. The observer ruling, no foul. So this is going to be staying here with white. It's going to be a defensive check on the disc coming in on 1.
It's a defensive check.
I think what both of those players said happened is what happened. It's just the implication of that in terms of affecting the play.
Brute Squad scores. It's 6-2. Brute Squad, 2-0 points, 2 turnover-free holds. There's been a lot that we could ask Jonna Hammaker about. Let's talk about the most recent play, Jonna. Clearly a little arm there. Did you think that was more than incidental contact?
I think on that one, what you're seeing is just a touch. There's no momentum of that arm pushing Shayla Harris off. We have a lot more views than the observers do with all of these cameras, but looking at it, that looks just like an arm on her, not pushing away from her.
Part of the conversation yesterday was it's not just about what happened, but it's about the argument that the players make. If Shayla had been more emphatic that the left arm pushed me off my spot, might she have gotten the call?
You know, Shayla actually makes some of the best arguments of any of the players out here. She understands what to say and what not to say. And she does a really great job of saying that what she believes affected the play and what doesn't affect the play.
All right. Jonna, do you have a thought quickly on the Ospina bid earlier?
On that, what's key is the angles that they're taking in those bids. And you want to look for angles where they're going parallel to one another or away from one another. And those are the bids that are typically more safe. And the contact that happens after that is often unfortunate, but not part of making a dangerous play because you're taking an angle into somebody.
Good stuff. Thank you very much, Jonna. Great to have her here in the booth with us. Not only an observer, but someone who has helped write the rules, which is not an easy process. Rolling quickly right back to Thompson. Low release into the end zone. There's Scazzietti. The Italian has her first goal here in the final.
That movement by Fury is much more in line with the offense that they have played throughout this tournament, where a cutter coming back towards the disc, instead of turning and throwing upfield, will bounce the disc backwards to a player like Thompson, who is faced forward, giving and going in that space. You can see that dish from rolling, and then Thompson is already faced towards the end zone. So that little bit of time that you get, because the defense is trailing, because they're open, like it means that Scazieri, who is still being well covered, is available in a window that closes very quickly. And Fury takes advantage of those opening and closing windows, spaces, better than any other team I've had. Brute Squad was able to stop that flow earlier, but Fury is now finding a way to get back to that offense.
That's 5 straight points without any turns, after we saw 16 total turns in the game's first 4 points. Can Boston stay perfect on offense? Referring to just their O-line. When Brute Squad won its first championship a decade ago, you know, the team had a good offense, but the backbone of Brute Squad was always their defense. And sometimes we felt like when their D-line was on the field,
We're not set downfield.
they were in their best form.
This is travel call. But we've stopped here, so we have to wait for people to reset. And there might have also been a pick.
I don't think that's the way we view Brute Squad now. I think they're a very balanced team with skilled offensive playmakers. And like Fury, you know, they flex players, don't just necessarily have a strict O-line. There's a violation downfield. Finney and Hoffman, former World Games teammates, or I beg your pardon, Ospina and Finney stopping play.
I think issue here is that players move before the travel restart. So it's one of those like hand signal clarity things that sometimes happens in Ultimate. We go back.
Levka Volchek. Disappointing World Games for Levka. They were so close, Team Germany was, to knocking off Team USA in pool play for the second straight World Games. Came up short though. Came up short of a medal again. But she's got incredible skill and vision. And Leanne Hoffman has the goal on a nice cross-field flick from Levka.
When we talked about Levka in the opening, she gets the stat there for the assist, but she changes the shape of the field very quickly, and I think that that's one of the skill sets that she's grown into for this Brute Squad team this year, in that all of the momentum was going towards that far sideline and then takes it and goes counter flow. Hoffman is owning that space, but all of the teams, you can see, moving to that one side and then go back to the other side. That change up is what gave them that easy looking goal.
Well, Maddie Sang led Team USA. Here's a look at all the different World Games players in the women's division this year. You know, 3 Colombians on Brute Squad, obviously the Cardenas twins. Sheena Cartagena was incredible for Bent, but the New York squad just fell short in the quarters. Some of the best players in the world don't make it to Championship Sunday because they get edged out by the other top players, and obviously the mastermind of Team USA's success, that guy. He's a guy. Maddie Sang took over coaching Fury in 06, and Kirsten Johnson sees Scazieri, and oh, they call her out. Curious to take another look at this. First turnover since the score was 3-0. It's a tough call. I think she was in. But understand how that could be a really tough bang-bang call. So it's another break chance for Boston. They're 4 for 10 on break chances so far. Fortunate there.
The crowd is starting to fill in, and you hear good oohs and ahs from them.
Highland tried to holster and lost it. Ellie Mellick picks up and fires deep for Thompson. No doubt about it there. Anna Thompson in the end zone. Brute Squad a chance to take half 8-3. Can't cash in. Back to a 3-goal game.
I like that Anna Thompson and Carolyn Finney are purposefully doing the same hairstyle and headband as each other. Although at this point, I think they're both well known enough that we will not mix them up.
Through the eyes of Kolakovic, you can make the call. I don't know if this is a just don't lie situation here with Highland, but nonetheless, Ellie Mellick not wasting any time on the restart. Fury's taking a timeout, their final timeout of the half, to try to figure out how to fluster this Boston O-line.
You know, we're in the first half, but it honestly feels like we've had two different games.
Katie, here's the answer to the trivia question. Which teams besides Brute Squad and Riot has Fury beaten in the title game? Scandal last year, Capitals 15 years ago, and 26 years ago. The women from Portland Schwa made it to the finals before falling short as Fury won their first championship in 1999. Apparently after that score, Anna Thompson received a blue card, not because they thought it would match her jersey, but because she edge spiked the disc. See if we can take a quick look and see what happened. We'll get back to it if we can. We're back to live action. Boston can take half with a 4-goal lead. They had a 3-goal lead at the half at the US Open over Fury. Obviously, San Francisco turned it on in the second half and won handily. Different vibe today, and frankly, Brute Squad very much has played this tournament differently than the rest of their season. Hoffman can't bring it in. It's Ellie Mellick rising up for the block. But we've got a call, not sure if it's a foul or an injury or both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got tangled up a little bit on the exit, but you can see how Dina doesn't go straight up there. She comes into Hoffman's space a bit.
I think it was a foul, but after the disc was out of my reach. So, actually, you know what? I feel that I went up and came down in a straight line, but we just had bodies. Oh, you let it up. Yeah, but I don't think it affects the outcome, probably, right? Like if it's a foul after the disc gets hit.
That's something that you have to determine for yourself. I can't offer that for you. Okay, so there's no call. You're taking an injury?
I'm gonna take it.
Okay, so we have an injury sub,
Yeah.
and there's no foul call.
Yeah, and that's a situation where both players are talking through what happened and come to a conclusion. They're not going to the observer, and that's, again, what the rules are meant to be. It's meant to be a self-officiated game, and the observers are providing perspective, rules clarifications, and to move the game along. So Leanne Hoffman takes an injury substitution, but it is the first turnover for that Brute Squad O-line, I believe.
Correspondingly, the first break chance for Fury. It's been a strange first half for the 13-time Women's Division champs. Here's Harris. Excellent defense downfield from Highland. Throw goes up around her, gives Volchek a chance, but Dina, with her size and stature, takes care of it. L.A. Melek for rolling. Nazarov swings for Harris. Douglas counts the stall. Errant reset, knocked to the ground.
I think it was for Nazarov, but
there goes Highland, chased by Harris. Can't get there.
It was a miscue. There were almost too many handlers back in that space. I am seeing the wind start to pick up a little bit, and I think that throw is a good exhibition of, or evidence for that. Just floated a little bit too far.
Harris and Volchek. Oh, Shayla elevates and brings it in. Shooting it, Thompson versus Ospina. Fury has its break as Thompson skies for the spectacular score. Wow.
First Fury break.
When this shot went up from Harris, I wasn't so sure, but Thompson puts a spin on a poster.
That is fascinating because that went up and I had absolutely zero doubt that that was going to be on a Thompson's disc. Ospina made a great play. Comes into the space, honestly, of Thompson a bit. You can see they're colliding, but
the first Fury score was Rudin to Lynn. The last 4 Fury scores have all involved Anna Thompson. 3 goals and 1 assist. Ian, what do you got?
Danny Clark's message to the Brute Squad team in that timeout huddle. Stop trying to win with your throws. We can win this game with our legs. Fury has not proven that they can guard all 7 players and take away unders from everyone. He just wants this team to walk it in, to run the ball up the field and win the game with their legs.
That sounds very much like a message Danny Clark would give, thinking about him in his playing days with Boston Ironside. Not throwing shade at his throws, but Danny won games with his legs. Former Peter Farraker Award winner.
Well, Coach Robertson was talking about Danny Clark joining Brute Squad for this season and the things that he has brought to this team. And I think that really wanting to win, really hating to lose, being very competitive and focused through the whole game is something that Brute Squad has said has really benefited them, and they've really liked adding this season.
Let's see how Brute Squad's offense responds after getting broken for the first time. Ospina to Volchek. Finney there defensively. Here's Hoffman. Aaron McCann was shut down, so was Jenny Lee. This is McCann, looking long, live player, just shy of the goal line. Hoffman is in, and Brute Squad takes half on Fury here in the final, 8-5. Brute will also receive on offense to start the second half when play resumes.
When I thought about how this game would go, how this game would play out, this is not where I expected to be at halftime. But my goodness, am I glad to be surprised, because this is exciting stuff for a final.
4 breaks for Boston, 1 for Fury. Maddie Sing's team was down by this exact score at halftime in Colorado back in early August to this Brute Squad team. Brute Squad scored 12 goals in that game, more than anybody has scored against Fury this season, but it was still a San Francisco win. At Nationals, no one scored more than 9 against Brute Squad, but Lev Kovalchuk and Liv Player leading Boston with confidence in the final. And at the half, it's Brute Squad in front by 3.
Charlie, what's the ETA here?
Hey yo, the rain was steady pouring, heard the drops as it was meant to be. Chilling in my crib, no doubt, peep the scenery. Telephone rang and it stopped before I could answer it. I heard it knock at the door, so I answered it. And with Jermaine, he had a little situation. Beef up on the block and orthodox that led the confrontation. He said these cats be acting hard on the block. And they be pumping weight and holding so Dwayne got shot. Now see, Dwayne was just a knucklehead, but still with his cousin. And I'd be wrong if I ain't help him when it's beef, he gon' rush him. He said, stood up in the dog, it comes to light. So always play your part and say goodnight.
On this beautiful Sunday in San Diego, Brute Squad leads Fury 8-5 at the half. They got one more half to go to try to pull off the upset. Ian Toner with Rob Brazil.
Thanks, Evan. Rob, where did that 4-0 start come from?
I wish I knew. If we could capture that in a bottle, I'd be a rich man in Ultimate.
Tell me about the way the rest of that half progressed. You did surrender one break, but you were able to keep your foot on the gas. You got this 8-5 margin. How's the team feeling right now?
Team is feeling great. I think people are definitely feeling a little bit tired. There've been a lot of multi-turn points and a lot of deep throws that I think are evidence of the adrenaline people are feeling. You know, they're excited and that's awesome. That's how we got all those Ds. But also, I think we need to calm ourselves down a little bit and trust our systems.
To that point, I heard Danny talking to the team in the last timeout huddle saying, hey, we don't need to win this game with our throws. We can win it with our legs. I'm assuming that resonates with you as well.
100%. I couldn't agree with that more.
What's your focus when you go back and talk to the team before the second half starts?
Keep the energy up. We know that Fury's going to come out punching, right? Nobody's going to walk out of this game with their head down, so we got to match their energy or beat it.
Rob, good luck in the second half.
Thank you, Ian.
Evan?
Thank you, Ian. 9 turnovers for Brute, but 12 for Fury, 10 of which came in the first 4 points. Fury's offense has stabilized. They got the one break back, but Brute Squad's offense, we haven't spent a ton of time talking about them because half of Boston's points have come with their D-line, but they've been pretty good too.
I'm honestly speechless. I feel speechless looking at this. I didn't expect this, and I don't know that Fury did either, and I'm interested to see how they're going to manage the time in the halftime, because it's a weird sort of cadence to this game. It's a weird one.
Well, let's find out the Fury perspective. Ian Toner with Maddie Sang.
Maddie, you willing to reveal any of the points of emphasis from that halftime huddle right there?
Lots of hammers and blades.
I heard you focusing on this challenge being on the team, and this is something that as fallible humans we need to embrace and support each other through. Where does that approach come from?
I think just having coached for a long time, and I think there's always this chase toward perfection, and in games where you have 2 worthy opponents, like the game is that you're going to make mistakes, and so how do you recover from that?
I remember Claire Desmond telling me something you said about the difference today is going to be responding perfectly to imperfection, and it feels like that's the challenge that you have ahead of yourselves. What was going through your mind when the scoreline was 4-0 just a few points ago?
Not too much. I mean, I think we made small mistakes, and then they got bigger in our minds, and so that's what I was thinking. So how to reduce it to what actually happened, which is some pretty small mistakes.
Maddie, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second.
Thank you.
Evan?
Thank you, Ian. I asked Maddie pregame about the possibility of finishing the season undefeated, and he's like, it's a cool story, but honestly, winning is not the #1 metric for us. We are used to winning. We measure ourselves against ourselves. Certainly a subpar start, but the biggest test is still ahead.
And we're talking about, sports, winning, losing, scores, and I feel like Maddie is on a different plane of existence. If you think about the Zen Cohens and what that kind of perfect imperfection and that contrast in perspectives is, I feel reassured just hearing Maddie talk, and I can't even imagine what the Fury team feels like, but they do have a 3-point deficit to overcome if they are going to have that nice little story of an undefeated season and another national championship come true.
The asterisk on Fury's last undefeated season in 2012, they did lose in the finals of Worlds that year to Japan. They were Team USA, so they were undefeated in the club season. But before that, you got to go back to 08, and that team was down 10-1 in the final. So still a lot to be decided here. Fury with a 45-game winning streak on the line, dating back to their last loss, July 14th of last year, the finals of PEC West. They were beaten by Molly Brown 14-12. By the way, their 45-game winning streak is not even 33.3% of North Carolina Pleiades' record winning streak, which spanned 143 wins over 1,451 days. So Pleiades still stands alone in that greatness metric. Caitlin Rowling launches the pull to begin the second half. Volchek pressured by Johnson. Montagna. I beg your pardon, Ferrero. And here's Ospina. And Highland. Katie, what's the key for Boston in terms of being patient, but also taking what's available?
That's the key of all sports always. But I don't know. I don't think anybody has totally figured that out. I think we're all still trying.
An errant throw near the sideline, and Friedman ran out of room, so she was out of bounds. And Fury gives away the break chance immediately through Thompson's grasp. It was kind of an off-balance catch. That's the second grab today that has eluded her.
Yeah, Friedman was very upset to have been called out of bounds, and then when it turned, was very excited about that. And I think she had a very funny moment there with Sarah Von Depp saying, oops, sorry.
Tulsa Douglas looking reset. Ospina not in, but Volchek is. And Brute Squad holds to start the second half, takes a 9-5 lead. This matches the most points that Fury's given up at Nationals.
I'm just watching, I'm looking at the intensity on Finney's face, the smiles, honestly, on other people's. It's interesting to see because we're coming out of half. We've had these teams that have had a chance to talk together, to readjust, to have those moments happen as we're getting another look at this reception. And I think a foot clearly on the line, and it's when possession happened. Really difficult, almost impossible to tell from that angle because of the receiver and the defender in the way. But in the end, it's almost a non-issue because Ospina to Volchek was the score.
Yeah, Fury gave away the break chance quickly. Fury is 1 for 3 on break chances. Brute Squad is 4 for 11.
And an offside being signaled, I believe, which means that the defensive players were over the line before the pull happened, which means that Fury accepted the offside call and is putting it in at the brick mark.
Maggie Rudin may have just tweaked something or gotten her foot stepped on.
I think her shoe came off a bit. As Levko stepped on her foot, her shoe came off a bit. Foul, no contest, yeah. That's the hand signals that you're saying. And the hand signals have been very helpful for communicating across field, especially in loud environments like a stadium final.
Maggie Rudin's in the thick of it right now. She just got bumped by a poaching Angela Zhu. I think Zhu apologetic for the collision, uncontested foul again. Chang gets it to midfield for Lin. Harris is open, picked up by Volchek, ripping it crossfield. Margot start in the end zone for Fury. She has made some great plays here at Nationals through the bracket.
Absolutely great plays. I mean, was a great player for Polar Bears for a long time. Last year was her first season with Fury, and I think it has made even more strides of improvement this season. It's one of the reasons Fury players seem to enjoy playing Fury so much is that they are pushed to continue to improve and grow their games, and it's not necessarily all in these little moments, but in really big moments too. For example, we talked earlier about Shayla Harris growing her game and being able to throw those throws into space, close receivers, small windows, and that getting better at stuff is fun. And sometimes it's hard to be in an environment where you are pushed to continue to improve. And I think that that's one thing that the rest of us, in not just in Frisbee, but in every aspect of our lives, could learn from Fury, in that the continued growth environment rises all boats.
I asked Fury coach Meidi Chang if San Francisco split into Fury X, Fury Y, how far would those teams advance at Nationals? She said, well, that's what practice is like. It's, it's the hardest thing we do. People get very frustrated at Fury practices because they're not as good as they think they are. They get humbled really fast by the other great players they're going up against. Has Carolyn Finney, is deflected but caught. She thought she had the block. I thought she had the block, but Leanne Hoffman saved the day.
Or at least this possession.
Travel called, tap in, restart, play on.
I like that rule adjustment.
You're not alone. Finney again going for the poach. That's left Ospina wide open. Manji Ferrero to Leanne Hoffman. Brute Squad works it in.
That is the danger you take sometimes as a defender, where you say, I'm going to make a play for this, like we saw Finney do twice. Once got the block and it was dug out, and second missed. But if you miss, then you leave another player wide open. And Brute Squad did a really good job to take advantage of the space created. That's the first one, and Hoffman, what awareness. And then leading, I feel like we've talked about bookends where you get the D and then you score, but if you get the saving block and then score, there should be a name for that too. It doesn't have to be a real stat. We can just talk about it as a fun thing. I know people in the Discord are following along. I'm sure they have creative ideas.
Hanging on our every word for sure.
Doubt that. But I am really glad to be in this place and be able to witness a game like this and bring it to people who can't make their way to San Diego for the game in person.
Absolutely.
But there's plenty of people in the stands today, and the environment is great. I can't even wait to see what the rest of today brings.
Revolver and Machine in about an hour and a half. About 4 hours from now, Hybrid and Exist. Here's Anna Thompson immediately launching a perfect honing missile to Dina Elimelech. Sometimes Fury just makes it look like a practice.
But
Brilliant.
There were two players going deep, and they were in distinct lanes, both going wide, and the defenders had to pick between Elimelech and Eddie, who was also in that space, and could not guard both of them. Thompson puts this up, and I think you'll see both in that space. Eddie had Volchek behind Kemp. But look at that, it's really between the two defenders, and Elimelech reads it a little bit better. Eddie pulling up to give space and think about where the other defenders were. Highlighting the ability to have multiple options in an offense is sometimes the thing that gets you the score. It's not the perfect option at the perfect time, but multiple options in time where the defense can't take all of them away.
Anna Thompson played in 3 straight mixed division finals while she was still in college. 17, 18, and 19 with Philly Amp. She won 2 of those finals, also lost a thriller against Mixtape in 17. And then joined Fury in 21. She won the final in 21, lost to Molly in 22, lost in the semis to Brute in 23. Won it all again last year. I mean, Thompson's going for her 5th championship. That's just in club. Obviously, World Games gold to her credit, and among her many other exploits and achievements. And Brute Squad, oh, it's incomplete. Ospina down again.
That was, I think, just hitting the ground very hard. However, if it's I guess there's no injury call. I saw no, we just stopped.
When you're ready. You feeling good? Okay. Just give us a 3-2-1 and then we can move. Yeah, just go 3-2-1 and then we can move.
Connerly puts it for Levka. Levka had hesitated. Ospina tries to get out. Oh, I see the knee in the back of the head afterwards.
Yep.
No, that's not a non-contact, that's contact.
Somehow Thompson held her pivot foot there. Johnson for Thompson. Floating it for Elimelech. She literally threw her open. Dino wasn't even cutting. Anna Thompson continues to perform magic and is lifting Fury back into this final at 10-8.
And I feel like that's what I would say is playing hot hand, right? Sometimes there are players who are having messy games, they're not executing, they're in their own heads, and there are other players who are really in a flow state. We saw Anna Thompson actually move from one to the other at the beginning of the game, a little lack of focus, had that drop, and then since halftime in particular has really been focused, engaged with the play, on the same page with teammates, and putting it out into space for receivers. Elimelech was there, as you said, not cutting, but rolling was behind cutting as well. So even if that throw isn't perfect, which it was, but if it wasn't, there is still another receiver, and there's 2 receivers with 1 defender in the area. I don't know if that's due to the Fury cutters or the spacing of the Brute defenders, but they're gonna have to find some answer for Anna Thompson, as she is currently playing hot hand in this second half.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about Claire Trope. I've been hyping Manuela Cardenas, but when you see Thompson take over a game the way she has here lately, it's hard to want anybody else to lead your team. There's the edge spike that got her a blue card.
And it's a blue card because you can't damage the equipment. We need those.
Appreciate your Ultra Star.
Well, as a person who coached middle schoolers who copy everything that happens in the club division, you can't have a bunch of middle schoolers just destroying the Frisbees that you gave them to play with. You want them to do something more creative.
Brute Squad, after being broken, back out there on offense. Friedman makes the leaping grab and then throws it away. Volchek unsuccessful with the bid. Chance for Fury to get back within 1. Olivia Goss gets it back to Finney. Good poach in the lane from Highland. And a reset for Werfele. I can still picture Werfele in a Brute Squad jersey being a difference maker in Brute Squad Fury finals past.
Same 4, 3, 2, 1. Check when you're all ready.
Werfele on Brute through 2021, joined Fury for the first time in 22. Deep shot, Harris accelerating and then missing the catch. The breakaway speed was breathtaking, but unable to complete the play.
It floated at the last second. Harris tries to go up with the hand instead of running and turning the corner, getting another step or two in that direction.
This is Player. Difficult reset catch handled by Jenny Lee. Douglas to Volchek. Levka, crossfield floater, hanging up there, and it floats over Filipek and into Friedman's grasp. And Friedman has the goal 2 throws later. But hang on. Player and Lynn wave off the call and Brute Squad holds.
Elise Friedman has been a player who's really making an impact and someone we haven't talked as much about. Rob Brazil, when I talked to him at US Open, they were running, and his words were, a skeleton crew. They think I had 13 healthy bodies playing in that tournament, but it forced some of their younger players to step up and play in roles that they were going to need them in this game. Elise Friedman is one of them. Jenny Lee, another, as we're getting another look. You can see how the disc comes back over and Harris gets a hand on it, but just another step towards the direction the disc was floating would get there. Filipek misreads that one, but Friedman gets there and then goes backwards to Player. And that give-go, turning your hips back towards the receiver. The defender plays in one direction, but the offense was on the same page. Danny Clark is fired up.
They're up by 3, 4 goals away from winning the program's 5th national title. Of course, wouldn't count Maddie Sang's team out either. Brute Squad hasn't gotten a break since that 4-0 run to start. Coming into these finals, Katie, we talk about and think about the pressure and who will handle the nerves better. Kirsten Johnson sending it deep. Amanda Maru with the easy score.
I can't tell if I think that Maddie Sang was joking or being serious, talking about hammers and scoobers in the halftime, but they must have talked about hucks, because in the second half I feel like Fury is continuing to attack the end zone. They have multiple players going there, and Brute Squad, who had been so good at taking away those options early, are they coming from different places? Like, why is Amanda Maru basically unguarded in the end zone by these Brute Squad's players? They are good defenders, and yet that's maybe it's a straight away shot and Ospina got caught looking, or they're supposed to be switching, but Fury has found a place to attack, and Brute Squad hasn't shored up that hole in their defense.
Delicious food, we're so good at it. That's the worst thing. Absolute worst. The best thing is we fight for every single point. Yes. And we say in the show, that is the best possible thing. So let's do that. Yeah.
Every Fury! All of the Furies!
We haven't talked in the forebound about Cree Howard coming down for this.
Well, Cree joined Fury in 2008, joining the winning success that started in '99, continued in '03. Maddie Sang joining the staff. This is the final point of the comeback in '08, part of their run of 7 consecutive titles from '06 to 2012. Scandal finally knocked him off in 13, but back in Florida, Fury over Bruton Universe in the final. And then this was last year with Sarah Von Depp hauling in the game winner for Fury's 13th title. They're trying to finish this season 30-0. Since the season started, entering this game, they've outscored their opponents 429 to 184. But they've been outscored here today so far. And some confusion on the pull, either an offsides or a false start, or perhaps not a readiness signal coming out of the timeout.
There's actually an injury, player walking off there.
Oh no.
Unsure what happened, but certainly confusion created, and hoping that we get to see Liv player back on the field.
Well, obviously concern over Olivia Player, such an important player on this team. Jonna Hammaker, is there any protocol for taking an injury before the poll starts, but after readiness has been signaled?
You know, I don't think that's explicitly covered in the rules, but in this case, since it happened before the poll, they're coming back and redoing that poll.
And you had thought of everything.
Yeah. I'm well aware that there are a lot of things we need to shore up there.
Hopefully Player is okay. I don't know if we get a look at, see, she got a little woozy or what happened, I don't know. Boston's playing offense without her. Player had 5 goals in the semis yesterday against Scandal. Scandal, by the way, did win the 3rd place game over Molly Brown earlier this morning over at Surf Cup, 15-8. So you will see DC Scandal in Ireland next summer. There's an error from Friedman. Under through her target. Thompson initiates the break with Johnson and Nazaroff and Ellie Mellick and rolling. And Volchek with a patented poach block as Fury sought Skazieri under.
She's so good at that. If you're watching as a defender and you want to learn how to read the play, just rewatch these points and only watch where Levka goes.
Volchek in the end zone, pulls it in.
I mean, going to the end zone is certainly a good way to score. My goodness.
What a huge goal for Brute Squad after the giveaway, after the player injury. Boston gets to 12.
And Boston has been playing without several players. You could see Volchek there before hugging Leah Schwartz, who went out with an injury and has been a mainstay of this offense. She's very young, but she has been an absolutely dynamic thrower for this Boston squad, but not on the field for this game. And we're gonna see what...
Yeah, there's the opening pull. She just wasn't feeling well. Never seen that before in a game, let alone in a final.
And I think sometimes things like that can happen, and it can rattle you as a team to see a teammate kind of going down unexpectedly. But I think that mental resilience is a really important part of this game, and saying, I care about this person and this player, but I can't let that affect me on this point in this game.
Brute Squad has matched the most points anyone has scored this season against Fury. Chang sending Harris, Hoffman giving chase, but that's easy money. Rachel Chang with a missile.
They are such a beautiful thrower, and coming back from injury, not able to play at full strength in the college season or even all of last season. But they're really a player who is able to uncork throws, and I don't think we get to see it enough. I think especially with the prowess of that ability, we could see even more throws from Rachel Chang that they're going to put out on a platter like that for Harris. And Harris almost makes a little jig in that cut, pulls Hoffman to the side, and then comes back towards the middle of the field. There's no one else. I feel like everyone stopped for a moment to just witness how pretty that was.
Harris staying on the field, and importantly for Boston, Liv player is still off the field in the medical tent right there. Certainly responsive and alert, but clearly it's a tough time to not be feeling good enough to go. Brute Squad's O-line back out there, leading 12-10 in the women's final, and this point will begin from the brick. Douglas, Connerly, Ospina in the backfield. Ferrero, Volchek, Highland, and Damasio Donahue in the downfield stack. Looking long. Highland chased by Harris. Shayla rips it away. Another break chance for San Francisco. They've got 2 breaks already. And that throw is going to be intercepted by Volchek. She's got so many Ds just on clap catches. Like, who's had more Ds on clap catches than Levka? Anticipating, recognizing her instincts, unreal. Missed opportunity for Fury. Brute Squad in the red zone. Player has been go-to in this situation so many times. Volchek called for a travel, and I think Harris is right. Pivot foot was set in the end zone. That's not permitted.
And it's saying that the stall is at 1.
Ferrero back to Volchek.
I think it's a good exhibition. Also, Fury is not playing person-to-person defense. They're almost in a zone, trying to create pressure towards the front of the end zone and giving space to the players in the back where they're going to run out of space.
Whatever the count was when the pick occurred, +1 is what we come in. So if the last thing said was 4, it would be 5.
Levka squeezes it through, but it's incomplete.
I don't know if Finney got a piece of that or not, but Ospina just ran through Nazarov, doesn't actually take the time to move around the player.
Remember that red zone mistake.
And gets a blue card.
It's a blue
issued
card
for that, because you do have to take evading action. You can't run through someone, and sometimes we'll see players do that where they bump on the mark to just get a little bit of breathing room, and it's not within the rules. You can't do that. You have to take evading action.
Finney launches. Shayla Harris churning for more yards. And into the end zone, a lot of contact. Sonia Johansson looked like she got hit from behind by Kelly Highland, and they will discuss.
It's interesting because both players go up, but this disc floats a lot. Seeing the line that they talk on second look, it does look like Highland's presence stops her ability to jump and go up and comes through the shoulder.
I'll just repeat once what I said. I was timing my jump, I jumped up, and then I felt your contact before I was able to time my hands. Okay. And I disagree with the timing of that. Okay. And I would like to go to the observer.
Okay, give me a second to confer.
Sure.
Looked like pass interference to me.
And I think it's pretty easily pass interference. And when we talk about verticality, it's a good example because you can see one player going straight up and the other player coming through and at an angle. And so maybe if Johansson hadn't jumped, et cetera, but she does jump into that space, impinges on that vertical space, and gets blocked.
Jonna Hammaker, our observer in the booth, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing here is, are the observers in a place, if they're going to go to the observers, are the observers in a place to be able to see the angle between the players there? Because you can see where 9 is coming in.
Foul's called. You're bringing it to us. Plays gonna restart with a check. The observer ruling is that there is no foul. So again, play restarts with a defensive check.
Jana, you're not in a position to disagree with your colleague. I disagree with your colleague. Reasonable minds can disagree, but that was a lot of contact. And clearly the contact, in my opinion, prevented Fury's Sonia Johansson from making a play on the disc.
Right. I will also say that there's a little bit of onus on the players. Like, they have the ability to contest and send the disc back, as opposed to going to an outside perspective.
So it's Brute Squad back on offense. 2 turns aside already on this point.
Harris marking Levka.
Fury ratcheting up the pressure. These are the moments of the season that all these players will remember most. Travel called on Ospina. Hold on, Levka. I'm looking over. Liv player is no longer in the same tent where she was injured. I'm scanning the sidelines to see if she's up on her feet. All right, apparently she is still in the tent. Can Brute Squad do it without her?
Fury's defense is forcing Brute Squad to have to be patient and grind through these undercuts.
Trying to win it with their legs. As Coach Danny Clark emphasized. Dorothy Damasio Donahue. Couldn't get Levka. Here's Ospina. 2 cutters there. Damasio Donahue takes charge. Volchek saves possession with a ridiculous catch. Harris is calling it down. Watching it live, I thought Levka made the play.
It was close.
I hear up, I hear down.
I do think that bounced before it was
so
controlled.
Do we want to send it back? Do we want to come here? Okay, so my ruling is it is down. It's going to restart
Observer
with the check.
saw it down
restart with the check. Restart with the check.
Kalakovic
It's
sees
going to
it.
be your check, yeah. So just say 3, 2, 1, disc in, and then we
The
can
rule
move.
is if it touches the ground before control and stopping of rotation, and I think that was pretty clear that it did touch the ground before control was maintained.
Brute's 3rd turn of the point.
Or established.
Nazarov leading the break. Slithers it through to Finney, who can't corral it. And then Ospina from her knees picks it up and throws to Volchek, who launches deep. This is coming back. There's a foul several throws ago.
What a point. We had one of these at 0-4.
So rules clarification on a foul when the throw occurs, you get 1 pass. And then play stops.
So it's no, there. So left has it.
Difficult catch. Finney couldn't bring it in. And then the quick restart. Clearly contact there. Finney knocked over Ospina.
It's your disc,
Levka. Before Levka's turnover.
I might say fortuitous for Brute Squad, but at this point, I don't even know if this doesn't lie. I feel like this doesn't know right now. It's all over.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, just let them know that you're ready to go.
Brute Squad trying to close out their season with a 14-game winning streak of their own and a stunning upset on undefeated Fury in the final.
It's a long time in this point, almost 10 minutes. And with that soft cap, that 16 minutes on your clock looming, which would affect the point total we're playing to if we get to that point. I think both teams would like a break, or at least these players.
The 7th turn to the point, a drop from Damasio Donahue. Fury hasn't been within one since the score was 1-0. They've been down by multiple goals ever since. That could change right here. Nazarov with the inside flick. Goss, low throw, scooped up. Back to Nazarov, and then she shorthands one.
Connerly had a huge layout which affected Nazarov's maybe ability to throw, but Connerly takes an injury. Not that it was a foul. I feel like, just for clarity wise, the intensity of the layout next to Nazarov distracted her for a moment with the beauty of the layout and therefore caused a turnover.
Nazarov so steady. Can't remember the last time seeing her short arm one like this to an open receiver. The 8th turn of this 23rd point here in the women's final.
Ali Suji coming in as
20
well
seconds.
For that 1-for-1 trade on injury substitutions, one for each team.
So what you're saying is there are 2 fresh players on the field and 12 exhausted players.
That is what I'm saying, yes.
Hoffman picked up by Suji to Douglas. Douglas has Volchek going deep. Perhaps Harris was trying to bait it. We've seen that before. Douglas holstered. Everyone takes a breath with a pick call downfield.
Okay.
Ospina open. Big gainer to Douglas. Ospina collides with Harris in the reset space and goes down.
I feel like bounced off Harris as they went to the same space might be a more apt way to describe that, because I feel like Harris held the line.
Yeah, I didn't mean to describe it as Harris fouled her. I just said she collided with her. Harris was firm. I think Ospina was the one that created the contact for sure.
Okay, so you're allowed to change direction.
Okay, so we've been talking for a long time. It sounds like we disagree.
I feel that I just held my position.
So it sounds like we're not going to agree. Can we send it back, or do we want to, or contest here, or do you want to come to me?
Reset space. Harris just holding her ground.
Relatively close. Okay. Foul, contest. Stalling 5.
Not the first time Brute Squad has been down at this end of the field with the disc on this point. Trying to make it 13-10. Volchek somehow shakes free. Finney switching the mark. Volchek takes advantage. And it's a Brute Squad score. Laura Ospina in the middle of a lot that point, but she's the one that ends it.
13 minutes in that point. It felt like a lifetime in that point. It took Brute Squad so long to score that hold.
Eight turns, a bunch of calls. Fury lets 4 break opportunities slip by them.
I think that point is also a really good illustration of when tactics matter less than effort. But there were that disc that was down, the foul that would have given Fury the disc on the goal line, a lot of stoppages, Finney's decision to poach on Levka, and then gives it that kind of break move as players coming through. That's what finally did it, but it's grit. It's choosing to win your matchup. It's choosing not to give up. It's choosing to lean into your habits, and that's why practices need to be so hard, because sometimes you're gonna have a 13-minute effort to get a hold.
Brute Squad has scored more points than any other team has against Fury this season. Can they get to the finish line and complete this historic victory? Kirsten Johnson fires. Dina Ellie-Melek is there. Fury counters quick. 10 minutes to soft cap, 13-11 in the women's final.
What a contrast of points. 13-minute point versus just over 30 seconds for a point. And if you have a team that is as deep as Fury, Brute Squad had to run a lot of their starters for a long time in that list. And then I think that you would argue that the second 7 for Fury is probably deeper, and they go right to the end zone.
Timeout taken. Critical moments in the women's final. Brute Squad on offense, leading by 2 when we come back.
Hey yo, the rain was steady pouring, heard it drops as it was meant to be. Chilling in my crib, no doubt, peep the scenery. Telephone ringing and stopped before I could answer it. I heard a knock at the door, so I answered it. And with Jermaine, he had a little situation. Beef up on the block, and Orthodox that led the confrontation. He said these cats be acting hard on the block.
Back here in San Diego, Brute Squad leads Fury 13-11. Boston playing without one of its stars, live player. Ian Toner down on the sidelines with an update.
Yeah, I just talked with her before the last point after she checked in with Coach Rob Brazil. She did say, yes, she was feeling a little lightheaded before she took that injury. Had been getting some attention under the tent. She wants to return, but she gave me the wobbly hand and said, we'll see on whether or not that actually comes to fruition.
Ian, thank you so much. Huge point for Boston's O-line. Ellie-Melek trying to lock up Tulsa Douglas, but Tulsa eventually, after a couple cuts, gets free. And then gets the throw into the lane for Pellegrini. This is Friedman. Will patience win the day for Brute Squad? It's a pick downfield. Ospina back right next to Scazietti.
Do you want a clarification on the stall here? So the stall should go to when the pick occurred. Is that cool? Okay, 4.
It's a violation.
Have to wait until they tap it.
In pool play, you might let that go. 13-11 in the final, different story. Here's Hoffman to Friedman to Hoffman. How solid has Leanne been here today?
Rock.
Fury is gonna need a 4-0 run to win its 14th title.
Well, we started this game with a 4-0 run.
What are you saying?
The other way. I'm saying that outside of that big blip, this game has been pretty even.
What a clutch, calm conversion for one of the great players of her era. And Leanne is naturally a quiet person, unassuming, but she's played through injuries. She's put so many miles on her body, and she continues to be, as you said, very appropriately, Katie, just a rock. Pressure is on the reigning champs. Rudin, Nazaroff, Sturt, Finney, Werfele, Harris, and Lynn. It's a must-score situation for San Francisco. Entering today, Fury was 13-4 all-time in club finals. 4-0 against Brute Squad. That's in jeopardy. Harris unable to bring it in, sandwiched by defenders. And it looks like we've got another foul call.
I don't think it was you. Okay. I think it was probably from behind. I felt that as I was closing on the disc, I got hit in that. Siento que le pegan en la cabeza por detrás. Translating. Oh. I think so.
Yeah, I had that as a foul before.
Yeah, that's right.
Just getting another look at it.
Ferreira into the side of the body while Harris was airborne.
So primero cae, she said that the disc falls, and then when you're all going down, it's going to hit hard.
Yeah.
I think it was after.
And
Did I say?
Ospina is there acting as translator.
I just felt they were simultaneous. Or at the same time.
No, porque el disco cayó, o sea, rebotó, el disco rebotó con ella, pero no, o sea, ella no lo cogió.
She's saying that the disc bounced and fell. It was already on the ground when it happened? That's it, that when the disc was falling already. Okay, I just disagree. So I'm so far off.
¿Usted quiere contestar? Quiero contestar, sí.
Okay. Would you like to come here? Yes. The observer ruling is it is a foul. So we're going to have the disc staying here. We will.
The interesting thing about that is, I thought it was 96 Ferrero that fouled her, and the foul was kind of being argued between Ferrero and Harris.
No, I heard Harris say it wasn't you, and immediately talked to Montagna. The pressure coming in through the back.
Fury keeps the disc. Nazaroff near the sideline. Finney is in. Fury has its hold. Now can they get 3 breaks? Brute Squad on the brink. Liv player is walking to the line for Brute Squad.
As the soft cap horn is going to go off in 40 seconds, it's still a game to 15. It's just coming down to this point. If Brute Squad can hold here,
Finney clearly in great awareness. This is fascinating to see player who's missed the last handful of points, not feeling well, returning for this moment.
What a huge pull.
Received by Ospina, center to Douglas. Here's Hoffman. Friedman's going deep. Ellie Mellick is on player in the middle of the stack. Johnson on Volchek. Players going deep for the championship for Brute Squad. It is ripped down by Olivia Player. But did Ellie Mellick get it first?
I'm gonna double check.
If this is a score, it's a Brute Squad title. Tie goes to the offense. But if Dina had her hand on it first, it could be Fury's disc. I'm guessing folks aren't going to rush to sign up to be an observer. Who got it first?
She touched it first, but did she stop rotation first?
Observer ruling.
Contest, so we're going to send it back to the thrower.
They're going to send it back, which frankly feels like the fairest thing, because the old schoolyard do-over seems like the only option with it being that close. We need to watch it 100 times.
100.
You're right though, Katie. It looked like Ellie Mellick may have touched plastic first, but that doesn't mean she stopped rotation first.
Yes. Can I see the disc?
Unreal.
It's not big enough for me to substitute it unless they approve.
That's fine.
Okay. Do we have a stall? Same disc. Okay. Stalling one. Stalling one.
I don't think I've ever seen a catch that I thought was closer and should have been sent back more as a do-over.
Certainly not on championship point. Well, it looks like Liv Player's okay. Will she get another chance? She's coming under here. Player, perhaps the most unknown member of the U.S. World Games team when she was selected to be an alternate. 5 goals in the semis, certainly a key factor here in the final. Leanne Hoffman looking to be a part of a 5th Brute Squad championship since she joined the team in 2014. Brute has never trailed in this game. They began with 4 consecutive breaks. Their offense has not been perfect, but it has been good enough since. They need one more. Everything that these players have been working for all season long, hanging in the air right now. It's a pick downfield.
I feel like I continue to just...
6 then? Are we good with that? Okay, stalling 6.
Hold my breath.
Remember to breathe. Ospina. Looking, Volchek, end zone, she's got it. Brute Squad does it. Fury, undefeated no more. Taken down by Boston Brute Squad in the final. Brute Squad wins its 5th national championship and beats Fury in the final for the very first time. Katie Killebrew, it turns out Fury is human and Brute Squad is the giant killer. Let's go to Ian.
Levka, you just caught the game winner. You got any words to describe what you're feeling right now?
It's always the same. Once something like that happens, you're out of words. You're just feeling the emotions. I'm just feeling the emotions. I think the team's just feeling the emotions. We're so grateful for each other. Gratitude is what I feel. Happiness is what I feel. That's that.
Can you talk to me about what this season and the trajectory has felt like for you? I think about, you know, the departures from Brute Squad to last season, the injuries that you all dealt with over the course of the season, and now you get here to this national championship game and knock off the undefeated favorite. Just how did you all do this?
I think we're confident going into this final because we knew that we had been really adjustable throughout the season, and because we had to be. We had lots of World Games players, not just in Ultimate Frisbee, by the way, also in flag football. So we've had, like, throughout the season, this is the only point that we've all been together. So because of that, because we knew we were finally united, and yes, we've had injuries throughout this Nationals weekend, but because we've already proven that we are flexible and adjustable, it didn't hit us that hard because we're just still that unit working together.
I asked Rob Brazil at halftime what was the key to that 4-0 start. He didn't really have any explanation, and he was like, oh, you know, if I could answer that, I could try and bottle it up and get us to do that every game. What do you think was the key to the hot start against Fury here?
I think it was bravery, grit, and then momentum. We just rolled with it and trusted it, and once we get going, there's nobody that can stop us.
I know you got a lot to process, but in this moment right there, is there an enduring memory or feeling that kind of sticks out with you and grabs you as you're processing having just won?
It's that physical gratitude that I'm feeling.
Well, congratulations. I've kept you away from your teammates long enough. Go celebrate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Evan, back to you.
What a player, what a team. Levka Volchek, part of her 2nd national championship with this Boston Brute Squad program that is now atop the women's division for the 5th time. 15-12, Brute over Fury. Quick break, and we'll be back to wrap it up after this.
Ultiworld's coverage of the 2025 USA Ultimate National Championships is presented by Breakmark, celebrating their 20th anniversary. Visit them at breakmark.com. The 2025 USA Ultimate National Championships are presented by Discraft, home of the Ultrastar, the official disc of USA Ultimate. Your place for all your ultimate and disc golf needs. Visit discraft.com. We make flying discs fun.
Welcome back to San Diego, where Boston Brute Squad has denied San Francisco Fury its undefeated season, its Triple Crown, and its 14th title. Brute Squad gets it done. Katie, we were talking with Rob Brazil before the game about all the key starters that Brute Squad has lost over the last couple of years. You know, losing Leah Schwartz to injury this season, Carolyn Tornquist, but also Caitlin Lee and Floor from the Netherlands, and Amy Zhou and Samia Ismail, who joined Bent. They've replenished that talent. Their culture has withstood the departures. They are a championship program through and through that aims to peak at nationals, and by golly, they did that and then some.
I think that this team has to speak for themselves. We can talk about the history, but in this moment today, this Brute Squad team came out hot, and this was the Discraft play of the game, emblematic of the way that Brute Squad played today. This was to go up 2-0. That 4-break run to start the game was more than enough. And it's the first time that anyone has been up on Fury by more than 2.
By more than 1.
Brute Squad came to play first thing this morning, and Fury was a little bit stunned and couldn't respond. I think I kept expecting them to have that run, to have those late moments, because they've done it so many times in the past. But listening to Lev Kowalczyk say, we went up hot and then we trusted it. They didn't doubt that they had earned those 4 breaks. They kept working, kept trusting that they were that good, and went the distance for the first time against Fury in a final. Beautiful, poetic, emotional game.
Anna Thompson led Fury with 3 goals and 3 assists. You see Shayla Harris, who was phenomenal, getting consoled by Maddie Sang. Lev Kowalczyk stat line: 5 goals, 4 assists, 4 blocks, yes, 4 turns, but the game-winning, championship clinching score. You know, so many moments that the point at 12-10 that lasted 13 minutes. Fury had 4 break chances to get within 1, couldn't do it. Turned out they never would get back within 1. Fury is an unbelievable program. They are exemplary, and you already should be scared for 2026 because they're coming back angry. But 2025 in the women's division, despite Fury's 29-0 start, belongs to Boston Brute Squad. Brute wins the final 15-12 over Fury. And for this Boston program that was founded back in 2002, in the wake of Lady Godiva and all the great early Boston's teams in the 80s and 90s in the women's division, Brute Squad carrying the torch. They are a champion for the 5th time. Congratulations to Boston Brute Squad, champions in 2025. For Katie and Ian, I'm Evan. Thanks for watching.